Shalom, Salama, Thiyemi. There you go. All right, family. Welcome to Q2A discussions. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm gonna have to be a little abrupt in my um in what I have to say because as you all can tell, I continue to have difficulties literally just speaking. And I'm gonna say this probably for a good maybe a month. I'm gonna have to come off of Q2UA as a as a speaker, and that's literally just to give my voice a rest. I have not been my voice hasn't literally rested in a couple of years, and it's taken its toll. So that gives me a it gives my voice just a chance to rest on this one. So for everything else that you see me for, I'm going to say till now on, you'll just see me over at Covenant Awakenings for at least a month or two because this doesn't serve anybody when I'm sounding like this. It doesn't. So, so I have to fight against um, allergies, pollen, all sorts of stuff because yeah, and in these last 5 years, I haven't actually in my whole life, I've never experienced anything like this. And I know that, and it's not just this, it's a couple other things. And that's when your body is telling you you're doing too much. So I've had to realize that this season wasn't good at all. I've never dealt with this amount of pollen. I've never dealt with this amount of issues with allergies, environmental issues. It's like I sound like I smoked cigarettes for I was a cigarette smoker. And I never smoked a pack of cigarettes a day in my life. But, sometimes this is how it is. And, you know, I don't get days off. I don't have those luxuries. But I know though that sometimes, man, you just have to have just an extended period of rest. And now you can see it in my voice. I just did too much. I've been doing too much. So, yeah, this thing can be exhausting, but you know what? It is what it is. I pray that other folks in Q2A can step up and fill the void. I know Brother Garth has been able to do things on exploring the motherland. But with my voice being like this for an hour, yeah. So yeah, I've never yeah, this was just because my voice went down about a month ago, I would say. And yeah, this is it's abnormal. It is abnormal. I wanted to talk about fearless leaders, but you know, I'm trying to keep going because my voice, maybe I just have to warm it up a little bit more, but man, and I don't even like the way I sound. That's crazy. I don't sound like this normally. And when you know that you don't normally sound like something, that really starts to wear at you. So so I wanted to talk about yeah, that sounds like I'm literally talking through a muffler. My throat's a literal muffler. This is bad. All right. I'm not gonna take that long. I wanted to talk about Ibrahim Traore and obviously what we are seeing from the backlash of the West. And what we're seeing is we're seeing how when you are a leader, especially a fearless leader, you have to be fearless. You have to be selfless. I'm pretty sure that Ibrahim Traore knows that at every turn there's somebody that wants to take him out. He's doing something that hasn't been done on the continent in over 2,000 years. He put out a call to action. And he put out a call to action for, and I would say in over 400 years, put out a call to action for the diaspora to come home as a recognized head of state of an actual sovereign nation of a country. On top of that, he's controlling the resources. Now, when I had published my book, The Rise of Africa, the Continent, the Diaspora, and BRICS, I immediately took the understanding of what I was seeing firsthand in Africa, especially in Burkina Faso and Niger and Mali. And I had to understand what we're witnessing. We're witnessing a global shift because the global dynamics have changed. For all those countries that are saying that, they're doing this, they're striking a deal. Well, they're still striking a deal with the perceived loaded gun to the back of the head. And when you understand that the way the design was for us to move in fear and to believe that you are powerless, when in all reality you're very powerful. Because the biggest thing about a lot of what happens and what goes on is that we agree with people, so then that agreement takes our power. The reason in the word when it says to fear not, because if you're in fear of something, what that means is you've given power to what you are afraid of. And we've learned that over the last 400 years, where the only thing that we have to fear is the Most High Himself. How many times when you've seen the prophets of old, the Most High would say, "Go on out and say my word, and do not fear the people, and do not fear the people, and do not fear the people. Do not fear the threats, do not fear the taunts, do not fear." Because we were made to do and to be bold. We were made to state our declarations and follow up on those declarations. We were made to do as the Most High had made us to be in His image. We're not in man's image. And I think that that's one of the things that we have to remember. We're made in His image. No matter how you may think that you have your life belongs to the Most High. All of us. Because at the end of this life, I want to say to the Most High, I did everything that you commanded of me. And you know what? As I'm seeing how He is moving, not just within Q2UA, but also throughout the world, we have zero, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. Because do you realize that we have been a beacon of hope? Because who was going to talk about these things? Who was going to mention these things? Who was going to tell you about this? We have been working on this for 2 years. Most High gave us a 2-year head start, and I thank Him for this head start because look at this. And now for almost 2 years, we had an initiative of the medical shipping container. We knew what we had as a resource, but then we had to focus and concentrate that resource, putting a gift in the hands of our brothers and sisters is the biggest testimony that we can have. Do you see why the enemy is so afraid of this? The enemy's mad about this. I started to speak up on the container, and the enemy literally took out my voice. But he only has his time. He only has a season. Because truthfully speaking, it's not about my voice. Here's the thing. I can say till I'm blue in the face that we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. I can say this until I've lost my voice completely. The reality is it's not about my voice. It's about your heart. Because as Brother Cecil had called me and told me the other day, Brother Karras, I emailed about 100 people, and he's still speaking up for the cause of this medical shipping container. Here's the thing that we have to understand. We're all leaders here, whether you like it or not. You may not realize your position of leadership, but we have all been called to be leaders. Do you know that part of our voices is to always speak up? That's part of our responsibilities. And I'm not blaming or knocking anybody on not following through with their responsibilities because, I mean, we literally just woke up in the grand scheme of things like yesterday. So we can't fault anyone. But what we can do is we can continue to do better and better and move in one accord. I know that on these YouTube streets, this is all for entertainment purposes. Now, I'm not going to take anything seriously until you start to see things running bare in about a month. And then people will be asking, did that medical container, did that shipment go? Brother Karras, did that shipment go? Because why? Because then people will start to understand their mortality. When the comfort of Babylon, when the comfort of Babylon gets stripped away, it's not going to be a pleasant experience. Right now, we're literally on a countdown. I don't know if you all knew this. We're actually on a countdown. Trump opened the door for China, and China just went on in. They're not backing down. They're not giving up. And now, do you understand the political calculus that is now made? That the moment Trump has to back down, the moment that America's pride is destroyed, and the when the moment America's pride is destroyed, that's the moment that the ego leads to destruction. Oh, and it will be a destruction. You all realize that, right? We're literally on borrowed time because China knows that as soon as you have to bow and bend the knee, this is the process of white supremacy being destroyed. And it's actually happening in front of our eyes real time. The pride of this nation, the vanity of their hearts, it's being puffed up. Do you all realize that? It's being puffed up for them. That it is going to have a tremendous fall. And when that thing crashes, it's going to crash hard and it's going to affect every single facet of our life. I don't know about you, but who plans on remaining in a third world country? If that's your plans, if you plan to remain in a third world country, hallelujah. May the Most High bless you. But when you understand how you're not able to have water and electricity and there's food scarcity because of insecurity, now you'll start to understand why people pack up and they leave. Because electricity will be provided by whatever the National Guard or whatever extra military force. You won't have a police, you'll have a guarded state. And in order to protect whatever semblance of order, martial law will be established with summary executions. And at that time, do you really think a cell phone or a camera or anything else, you broadcast that to the rest of the world? Do you really think that that would be the case? No, you understand what's actually going to happen? They will cut the internet cables. They're not manufacturing anything. The medical container is a container that is full of medical supplies that have been donated to an organization that we have worked with, and they're out of Atlanta. No, and that's fine. I mean, last year I went over and I had the pictures. I was showing that, showing the warehouse. Sister Shar had gone to the warehouse. We used to do the medical container commercial. It was about a 2 minute long commercial, and it was full of medical supplies. I went there, saw all the trailers, and they don't just have a warehouse, they have a couple of warehouses. But what that does is that opens the door to the governor of Burkina Faso. So for 50,000 USD, that ships the container from the warehouse in Atlanta over to Africa and ultimately over to Burkina Faso. And let me tell you, do you want to know how big of a show of support that is? We have medical supplies for you. Because silver and gold, we have none. But what we have, please graciously accept. This is a labor of love to be able to come on every day. And I know that this is a limited pool. I know. And I thank you all for you all being able to donate. Many have donated multiple times, and I appreciate it. But I also know, and don't think I'm not aware of this. This is a time of uncertainty. I know that people are trying their best to save their lives. The question that I always said, what if saving our lives depended on trusting our brothers and sisters on the continent to help us out, to be there for us? What if they're the ones that was coordinating the effort of the ships of Tarshish? Notice now how these ships are not coming into port in the United States. So let me just tell you, if I were an African nation seeing what was going on in the United States, especially with the African American community, realize we've detached. For the most part, we've detached. All we do now, we just go through our perfunctory motions for those that have to witness those motions. But we have said, you know what, enough's enough. And I'm going to say that that's roughly 90% of Black folks here in America. Because why? Because we know it's going down. They've shown us that we're not wanted. And in the past, they would try to hide and guard against that of, well, it's just some of you all, you know how you all are, you know this, and you know, and now it's like, now it's everybody. And do you realize that the more that they're pressed, the more that they mess up? And what they try to do, they try to hide it and mask it as best as they can. And they haven't been able to do that. So you want to know what they're doing? They're just saying, forget it, we give up. Why keep on the mask? Everybody knows it's fake anyway. And then all these countries are like, I can't believe what's happened in America. I'm like, uh, you can't, but we can. It's hard to keep up the facade. And the moment that they started to lose their power 5 years ago, we already knew what this ticking time bomb was going to look like. I think most black folks did, especially in 2020, but most black folks really didn't understand the full grasp of what they're seeing and dealing with now. And now every single black person is now confronted with this reality, whether they want to deal with it or not. This was a wake up call. And it happened in 2025. So what are you gonna do? Get mad, cower? You can't stay in bed because they done drenched the bed when they threw that bucket of water on black folks. I want to go back to sleep. Nah, you can't get back. You can't go back to sleep. That comforter, that duvet, all that stuff is all sorts of soaked up. Kind of hard to go to sleep when you're wet. It's very hard. And now that it's wet, and now that you have glaring music playing, now people are starting to get very, very uncomfortable because they cannot go back to sleep and their sleep has been disturbed. And they can't excuse it away. Well, I think it's, I don't know. I think, give it a few times, give it a few. And then now here's the funny thing, when the white pill bottle has been saying, yeah, it's going to get bad, when the executives of Walmart, Home Depot, and some other commercial real retailers have stated, yeah, our shelves are about to go bare by this summer. Wait, I was just kidding. I was just kidding. See, guess what? I've been talking to China every single day. Just give it a little bit of time. We're gonna have this thing come together. And then China says there's been no talks. You're under siege. Welcome to the siege. I don't know how else to say it. Visas getting canceled, revoked, curtailed. What does that mean? Americans can't travel like how they used to travel. You're under siege. If you can't travel, you can't move. If you can't move, for some businesses, they can't even operate. You're under siege. So this is where we're at in these times because this is a generation that fearless leaders are going to have to step up. We were just a voice in the wilderness, just we were just the whispers. We were telling people this is what's getting ready to happen. This is what's going down. This is what's happening. We were a fringe element. We were just a bunch of Negroes that didn't know any better. And that would be trying to scare people. How many of us got told that? But it takes now a group of CEOs to come and expose the folly. And now it's way too late. Again, I don't know how much time we have. I really don't. But this is why I said, listen, I made a declaration on this container. We need to start getting this thing done by the end of this month. I have courses and certifications whose proceeds will go towards getting this container on the sea and over to our brothers and sisters on the continent. This is an action thing. Faith is an action thing. Faith without works is dead. But we've been living in their churches, we've been living in their lie, and we've been told, don't worry, at the very last hour, something will happen. Just sit there and sit a little bit of folding of hands. They want you to sit there, so they're telling you to do the opposite of literally every single precept that the word says. Because why? Because they want you to be destroyed. Because guarantee you, they do not do that. They make sure that they put all their effort into their hands because they know that they have to work something, they have to do something, they have to move on something. And that's when the blessing comes. How did we forget that? And it's not that we forgot it, but it was that we were ravaged with fear. And here's the most saddest part about it. A lot of our people lack the humility to even accept that they're scared. Sometimes when you accept, okay, Father, I've been moving in fear, I've been moving in panic mode, I've been moving in excitement, in a negative excitement, because I've been frantic, because that is what they have conditioned us to be, frantic. And when you're frantic, guess what? You can't concentrate, because when you concentrate, you put your mind to work. And when your mind is working, your mind is doing everything that the Most High is calling you to do, because we have a mind of who? A mind of Yahusha. I'm going to tell you, family, the most powerful thing that you have in this season is your voice. And that's why the enemy straight up had to attack mine. And it's only for a season. It's only for a season. So I challenge you all to take that to heart, to have an understanding, and to ask the Most High to help you reveal you. And sometimes we do get in our own way, but that's okay. That's growth. And we're all growing in this. Nobody woke up in this awakening saying, I knew it all. I know it all. Far be it from me, because that was not me at all. I had to ask the Most High, Father, what am I seeing? What am I dealing with? Father, help me understand, because I don't know. But what I do know is this: if they know they're in trouble, how long do you think it's going to take for them to react to that trouble? I thank the Most High for his excellent plan. I don't know all the plan. I don't. I'm not the Most High. As a matter of fact, I don't want to know the plan. And I'm glad the Most High knows the plan and orchestrates the plan, because you may look at the plan like, oh, ooh, ouch. He all gives us specific tasks to fulfill his purpose. And that's for each and every one of us. So, family, before I wrap it on up, because this goes to the direct benefit of Q2UA and the proceeds are going towards the shipping of the medical container. You have about until I'll extend it. I'm gonna extend this until about April 30th, because then from there I have to find out. I have to do some administrative work to get things together. So you have until Wednesday, April 30th, because the classes go May 4th. Again, as folks are signing up in the classes, that takes a little bit of time. Give it a couple days to get everybody situated by May 4th. The first class will be 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that gives you the weekend, that gives you the Shabbat, that gives you some time to think about this and to pray over it. For the first 10 that sign up for the course, they'll receive 50% off. For those that want to do the part one of the certification, that's 6 weeks. So it's half the cost of the course. But I'm also offering that for 50% off. In this first cohort, I'm only going to have 20. But understand that the value of this course will rise. And understand that the value of learning something that's applicable and practical. And I'm going to make this appeal for those grandparents that have, or mothers and fathers, grandparents that have children graduating from high school this year. If they would like to take a gap year, I will be offering the fall course. I will be offering the fall course. That will start, I'm going to say, about a week or so after Labor Day. So I'll give you the time frame. I just have to narrow down the dates as I look at the calendar. So I'll need to narrow down the dates if it's going to be the 5th or the 12th of September. And that provides a leadership course, and hopefully that will provide some stabilization of what they would want to major in college, or what type of trade or skill they would like to engage in. Because let's face it, our degrees are becoming worthless. So then this gives us an opportunity to come together and understand what it is that's cutting edge in this new economy, this new normal. But to lock in now, please email me and I can tell you how you get started, because we will be accepting deposits, and that will lock you in at the current original price for the fall gap year term. And for all those that would like to then do the course for fall, we'll accept deposits. But I am excited about this course. There is a lot of knowledge that I want to be able to impart. And there's a lot of opportunities to learn and grow and to see all of the efforts and what that means and how that then correlates with neo diplomatic engagements. If you hadn't realized this, their idea of diplomacy is dead. It has failed. And it failed so much so that literally they're shutting down embassies. So look at the opportunity that the Most High has provided for us to fill the spaces. To me, that's a huge deal. So with that said, family, I do have to get up here and go. Um, you'll see me on Tuesday. Again, as I stated earlier, I have to take a break, give my body an actual chance to relax. I can't be going 6 days a week like this. And yeah, I need to have my voice heal. So, well, Lisa Marie, sign up. You can sign up at, let me give you that little link. These proceeds goes towards the medical shipping container leaving. So With that said, family, please pray for me because I got a lot of work I got to get done over the next couple of weeks. And continue to pray for our people during this time because understand just 6 months ago, they all thought that everything was going to be honky dory. Everything was going to be, you know, copacetic. It was nothing was going to change. And this has been really a very traumatic experience for our people that love the system of Babylon. They love the system of Babylon. And, understandably, that system had then broken. And as that system broke, our people are really, a lot of our people are in despair. Trust me, I know. I see their kids every day. So when I say that we have to be a light to the nations, we also have to be a light to our people. And in being that light, I know it's hard to open our mouths, but guess what? We have to be bold here because if we don't tell them, who's going to tell them? If we don't say anything, who's going to speak up? So, family, that's all I have today. Be encouraged. Do you know and do you see the Most High literally fighting our battles for us? Because the battle is His. We just have other things we got to do. And all I can say is hallelujah, because this is truly an awesome thing to witness at this time. We are blessed in this time. And think about this. Do you know that we're in a time, in a season where the Most High is still blessing His people? We're not partaking in their judgment. We get a chance to sit back and reflect how awesome He is and what He's doing for His people. And that's truly, truly amazing. So, family, with that said, I'll see you all on Tuesday. Thank you all for continuing to support the mission of Q2A. Thank you all for continuing to be a blessing to all of our Q2A ministry partners. Q2A is a nonprofit charity. We're not a ministry, we are a charity. But we do have our ministry partners in the community. like Teo Ministries, Sister Shonda, Pastor Rick Fletcher, and others. My Instead of us being frantic, we need to be excited. And I know most of our people here are, but man, you need to be telling that to our people in the community and encourage our people. Encourage our brothers and sisters right now more than ever. You know, a word of encouragement, you know how much that does? I'll talk to you all about that on Tuesday. I'll talk to you all about that on Tuesday, but I got to get going. All right, family. You all have a blessed and highly favored day as you walk and move under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. All right. Have a blessed day and have an awesome Shabbat. Shalom.